Oto Shama, thank you very much today for responding to the questions from the Japan IDG Essential Dialogue Network. The first question is, what drives your enthusiasm for helping the transformation of the world and the planet?
Well, first off, hello everyone to the hub, the ULab and IDG hub in Japan. It's great to reconnect or to connect with you. And so what drives my enthusiasm is essentially, I would say something very simple, that if that was the first step for me to develop Theory U, kind of going around the world and talking with people who created something really new in the world, right? And who created profound innovation in business, science, and other sectors in society. And what I realized is that what's underlying kind of these profound innovations is a deeper leadership work that wasn't talked about, and that is the inner dimension of leadership. And how one of the interviewees described that to me is that he said kind of the success of an intervention depends on the interior condition of the intervener. So in other words, the success of what I do as a leader depends on the inner place from that I operate, the quality of my attention, the quality of my intention, the quality of me to be present in a situation that is unfolding. And when I heard that, and that's probably more than 30 years ago, kind of that I heard that line, almost 30 years ago now that I think about that. 31 years ago, when I heard that line, I realized that this was a blind spot in leadership research. We know everything about the what, we know a lot about the how, but what he was talking about is kind of the source dimension, the inner dimension of leadership. And that really set me on a path to develop Theory U, and Theory U is basically mapping this inner territory, or you could say the invisible territory of leadership, in terms of three instruments that need to be tuned: the open mind, the open heart, the open will, aka our capacity to access curiosity, compassion, and courage. And what inspires me to do this work is kind of, and that's what I did, right? I put it on a slide, right? The Theory U slide. It's kind of basically these three concepts. You go around the world and you put that slide, you project that slide on the wall, and you make people talk about it. What inspired me is all practitioners who work in frontline around the world have a deep connection to that. Particularly when you come outside the Western world, when you come to East Asia, right? The Buddhist, Confucianist realm, like you guys are operating in. When you come to the other parts of the world, where other cultural contexts are, yes, you have a Western overlay, like you have as well, right? But then beneath, there is kind of a different cultural foundation. Wherever you have that, right? I saw this reaction, right? People look at the slide, well, look at me. They look at each other and then they say, who are you, right? So you're what, like an American or a German or what is it? This is our stuff, right? Kind of Buddhism, Confucianism, right? This is kind of open mind, open heart, open will. That's the essence kind of our deeper cultural foundations. So in other words, what's inspiring me is that the more you come to the edges of the traditional Western world, not just in terms of geography, but also in terms of change, right? As we see a lot of systems collapsing or really being in a state of breakdown. I just heard an example of here just a few minutes ago from leading education practitioners from around the world, kind of that how the current system is failing. So we deal with systemic breakdown at scale today. The more you deal with that and you talk to people in the front line, the more it's clear that we need to access kind of these deeper sources of knowing in order to regenerate. And what I have experienced is, if in these contexts of profound change, you create a holding space where people can connect with each other, not just kind of habitually, but on the level of these deeper layers of relationship, by opening the mind, opening the heart, opening the will, the more collective creativity is unleashed in a quite organic way. And yes, it happens in different ways around the world, but it does happen if you create these holding spaces. And that's inspiring me to continue this line of work.
Thank you.